Maybe there is some good news out of it all tonight because, there's no real sign of a clear improvement in Vladimir Klitschko. He has won. He remains the target for David Haye.
Yep.
And I think we have David on the line now. David, are you still with us?
I'm still here.
Tell her, you're going to be happy with that, aren't you, tonight? All in all, that's the perfect outcome for you, isn't it?
I'm happy that he won the fight, bottom line. That for me, all he had to do is get the win. He's got the win. Thompson came and gave a pretty dismal effort. But then again, Klitschko, after 50 fights, does not have a defence. He can't... just like Steve was saying, Thompson had no defence. All Klitschko did was hold. He keeps a pouring jab. He doesn't put any meat on his jab. He just a pouring jab and just hopes to land that one backhand.
But this is good for you, David, is my point, because he doesn't seem to be improving, even though he would like us all to believe that it's all suddenly falling into place for him.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks. He's been doing the same thing year after year, and every time he's got in the ring with someone fresh, someone fast, and someone who's got some heart, he's been knocked out. I'm that guy. I'm the guy who's going to go out there. And if he fights me the same way he fought that guy tonight, he'll get knocked out in 3 rounds.
Were you able to hear Richie Woodall, our own Richie, in commentary tonight, basically saying, this guy, Vladimir Klitschko, is made for David Haye?
I love guys who stand long with me. My ideal opponent is Vladimir Klitschko. No matter, look, he fights in a similar manner to which Alexander Gurov did. Everybody said it was a dangerous fight because he was tall, had longer arms than me. He was 6'6". What did I do? 45 seconds, my first punch, I knocked him spark out. I'll do the same thing to Klitschko. He's got the perfect style for me. I just want to get in that ring as soon as possible. I don't want him to have any more fights before me because I just don't want anybody else to do what I'm going to do to him.
Indeed, that's understood. Here's Steve.
Dave, aren't you still a bit concerned that he gets in with Povetkin and Povetkin's busy enough and gets out of the mauling? All we need to do is at the rules meeting, as you know, and Adam will be doing it next year. Let's hope you're fighting him next year in the O2, in one of those rooms at the O2. Adam's in that rules meeting and Adam's wagging his finger in the face of all the officials and he's saying them, don't let Klitschko hold my man. And that's Povetkin's people will be doing the same thing. There's lots of rivalry in Germany and Povetkin could nick it, tuck him up, tie up. And Povetkin's no great shakes, don't get me wrong, but technically he's not bad. Plus, Dave, he's been 10, 11 and 12 rounds in his last 3 fights. He's preparing for a gruelling encounter with this mauler.
Klitschko doesn't allow people like Povetkin, little short plodding guys who walk forward. Povetkin isn't very fast. He likes guys to come in close and fight inside because he's got a good work rate. Klitschko won't work with him. He'll keep pouring with that long jab, and Povetkin doesn't close distance very quickly. I do. So I don't really have any worries about the Povetkin fight because I feel that Klitschko will probably outpoint him or stop him late as he did tonight. But I just want to get in there because I could see every single thing that Klitschko does. I know it. I've watched every single one of his fights 10 times. I know every movement he's going to make before he does. He does the same thing, the same patterns, time after time after time. The same patterns that I saw in Enzo Maccarinelli are the same patterns I see in Vladimir Klitschko, and he will get knocked out in the same manner Enzo did.
David, one of the problems has been put out of the way tonight. Tony Thompson has not ruined your plan. Nonetheless, is there still the fear at all times in the back of your mind, actually, if it's Povetkin or if there's another fight before you're ready to take him on, it might be taken away from me?
Yeah, but that's the only worry about this fight, that something happens or he retires or something happens that doesn't make the fight, because I can't stress how much his style will gel with mine to have a violent knockout very, very quickly. So I'm going to try to make this fight on the fight whoever I've got to fight to get in. If it's a mandatory position I have to get into, I will do that. So you got to trust me. I'm going to do what I need to do to get to that spot where he is forced to fight me.
Let me tell you, we're with you all the way on this for a lot of reasons on Setanta Sports at the moment. Nonetheless, it is a new start for you at heavyweight, and it's bigger artillery that's coming back at you. And with the greatest respect, we know that you are a man who has been on the floor, and, you know, you can get in the way of some really heavy shots. He did stop his man tonight. How are you preparing for that aspect of being a heavyweight?
My whole plan is to be faster at heavyweight than I was at cruiserweight. I'm working on my speed every single day, and you will be frightened when you see my first heavyweight encounter. What I'm going to do to these big guys, I could see Enzo Maccarinelli. It felt like Enzo Maccarinelli was fighting in slow motion, and Enzo Maccarinelli is a decent, speedy cruiserweight. What happens when these big, slow heavyweights start throwing punches? it's gonna be like a scene from The Matrix. I'm gonna be taking him out with any shot I want to.
What are you weighing right now?
At the moment,
halfway through your elevation to the heavyweight.
233 today.
So 8 pounds lighter than Klitschko was today, and your reaches I know the same as his. Dave, let me ask you this. Let's move on to your fight. Adam has increased his list from 3 heavyweights to 5 heavyweights to 7 heavyweights. Give us a clue, Dave. I mean, you're going to be up to 10 heavyweights soon. There'll be no one left for you to name.
I'd love to. Listen, the way the business works, I want to make sure whoever I'm going to fight is literally contractually locked down for the fight, because if I start dropping rumours of who it's going to be, somebody else is going to try and get in the way and mess it up, and we can't allow it to happen. So whoever it's going to be, they're going to be in the top 10. They're going to be dangerous. They're going to be a name, and they're going to get knocked out, plain and simple. Dave? And I can't wait.
And
fingers crossed. November. November's the date that we're looking at. So it's a date in November. You're going to get serious. You're going to see the next heavyweight champion.
You'll be chomping at the bit by then, because it'll be the best part of 6 months between appearances.
Yeah, I don't do ring rust, you know. I drink WD-40, so you're gonna see a slick, fast heavyweight. I'm really gonna go out there and you're gonna see something.
And day to day, do you feel more powerful? Obviously, your weight is rising. From your own side, do you feel stronger than previously?
I feel stronger, fitter, faster. Everything is increased. Everything just feels better. I feel healthy. Whereas before, I'm always depleted. I'm always training, and I can't get the nutrients back into me because I've got to get down to the weight. None of that. I can eat as much as I want. Obviously, good, clean, healthy foods. But I'm doing it sensibly, and you're gonna see a real heavyweight with a featherweight speed.
Last word to you, Steve.
Now, Dave, obviously Monty Barrett had that win last week against that guy that moves slightly slower than a brick wall, Ty Fields. Thankfully, he fell slightly quicker than a brick wall. Now, he's not, in theory, in the top 10 anywhere, but that would be OK, wouldn't it, Monty Barrett? Even though he's not in the top 10, he's better than a lot of the guys in the top 10.
To be honest, off the bat, if he hadn't have beat that, as you said, that big, slow brick wall, he would have just be another 38-year-old journeyman.
Yeah.
You know, he's been knocked out a few times. He hasn't had any really big wins. But if he has maybe another big win against a big name and gets himself in the top 10, then possibly. But you know, I'm looking at bigger names than him. He's a journeyman at the end of the day. I don't want to fight a journeyman. No, I want to fight somebody. If I fight him, I'm going to be a massive favourite to knock him out pretty quick. So I'd rather fight someone who, you know, it's a bit more even, you know, so people actually want to come and see it.
All right, David. We're looking forward to seeing it when it happens. Hopefully, on what you've told us tonight, it might be a case of waiting till November, but I think it could well be worth waiting for. And thank you very much indeed for joining us this evening here on Satata Sports. Once more.